I'll just show you an example of the snare here. So I'll hold it back like that, first of all, to give you a full length of it. What normally would happen is that this part here, you're going to have a little chain coming from here, and you will have it into an anchor point. So usually a metal rod that sticks down into the ground. Sometimes it is connected to something else, but it should be usually connected to the metal in the ground. The main part that would make this snare illegal in many countries throughout the world is this right here. So this is the swivel. So see the way that turns? That will allow a badger that is trapped, or any other animal that's trapped in the snare, to turn around without this snare tightening, or it could also cause damage to the snare itself. So they don't want that. They want it to be able to turn, but the badger can't turn. The badger is able to turn because of this, or whatever animal can turn. But this snare, it's the reason this would be illegal is because that swivel, as you can see, it's down near the anchor point of the snare, and there's only one swivel. In normal circumstances, the best practice by people who would use snares would be to have 3 swivels along it. So you'd have one up here, one in the middle, and probably a third one down here. If anything happens with this one, so if this gets caught up in grass and vegetation, and that's what you're generally in areas where you're snaring badgers or trying to catch them, there's loads of vegetation, brambles and everything around. So it would be very common for that to get stopped. And when that one doesn't work, there is no other way for the badger to turn at all. So once this turns and turns, this will start tightening. As you can see from the top part of it here, I can barely fit my hand through it. So that's as far as small as the snare is. That part there that you're looking at is called a stop. So that's why they call it a stopped restraint, according to the Department of Agriculture. That the point of that is so that it can't cut too deeply into the badger. So the thing can't be too tight around the badger. That's what it's supposed to be. But as you can see, once it goes right in there, it's very, very small. It's a one size fits all thing. So this would be a snare that would be used on young badgers, cubs. It would also be used on pregnant females. It would be used on large males as well. So one size fits all. There's been no trials of this snare before it was rolled out. When it was made in 1996 by the Department of Agriculture, it was designed by them themselves, and they developed it so for their own use.